You may have heard of this diet, being that it's Oprah's diet of choice. She lost 40 pounds on this diet while still eating bread, which many dieters see as heroic as leaping a building in a single bound. That means today we're breaking down the Weight Watchers system to show you how simple it is to lose fat and not your mind with the handful of psychological tactics they use. In fact, there are three tactics that they use to help you shrink your waist without counting any calories, without any treadmill marathons at the gym, or swallowing a single sip of green juice. The first one being gamification. Benjamin Franklin once said that you cannot bore anyone into action. And I'm paraphrasing right here. So I quoted him and then I quoted me saying that he said it, which seems legit. But anyway, turning fat loss into a game makes it fun. Fun means that you'll continue to do it. Does that make sense? So Weight Watchers does this in coming up with their point system. Because what else has a point? Games, and they do it to make it easy, make it streamlined, so you don't have to focus on carbs, fats, calories, calcium. They just give you simple, streamlined points. So you can focus on racking points and having fun. So, for example, when I was younger, I would always leave my clothes on the floor. I have to confess to you now. And if my mom's watching this, she's probably laughing. Because especially this happened in high school when I thought I was a bodybuilder. I started working out for like the first time, and I'd come home from school, work out, and then get dressed again. And that added up to a lot of shirts, shorts, and boxers littering my room. Now, as my mom knows, she had two options, right? Now she could yell at me to pick up my stuff, or she could have kind of turned it into a game and made picking up my room, picking up my clothes into like laundry basketball, right? Now, which do you think would have been more fun and would have been more likely for me to stick with? Cleaning or laundry basketball? I think the choice is clear here. So, how are you making your fat loss and fitness fun? Performance based workouts. And this is where I started with performance based workouts was not going to the gym and counting reps and counting sets of those of boring bicep curls and tedious bench pressing, but I had a lot of fun learning to do my first freestanding handstand, and that's what led me to performance based workouts. So it doesn't have to even be handstands. It can be a weekly soccer game that you have with friends. It could be signing up for a martial arts class, trying rock climbing, anything that you have fun doing that is based on your performance instead of just focusing on the muscles and lifting weights and stuff like that, which lifting weights is fine and running is fine, but if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it. Another thing I like to do with cooking is to give myself creative cooking challenges, kind of like Chopped. Sometimes I'll set a time limit, other times I'll buy some new food that I have no idea how to cook with in the grocery store, take it home and figure out how to cook with it. So it could be completely new foods, like have you ever cooked with tamarind before? Or it could be new forms of foods, like taking a whole butternut squash and learning how to break that down and cook with it. Lastly, competing with friends keeps you accountable and makes it fun to keep going. So it could be seeing if who can lift more weights in the gym or who could stay more consistent going to the gym, things like who can finish a hike faster, kind of like racing. I know MyFitnessPal has an option where you can actually track calories and compare it with your friends. A lot of these apps have ways for you to track how many steps you take per day with your friends, how much food you're eating per day with your friends, how many times you're going to the gym during the week compared to how many times your friends go to the gym. So these are all really great ways to make it more of a game, to give you more motivation, and to make it fun so you stick with fitness and better nutrition over the long haul to get the results that you want. Now let's go to factor number two. Weight Watchers is very good with tracking. That's probably if you've never heard of Weight Watchers, this is probably the one thing that you may know about it if you've never done it or looked into it that much. It's all about tracking these points. So this comes down to is that you cannot grow what you don't know. Now, researchers, for getting scientific here, it comes down to the availability bias, where what you are exposed to, you value 2 to 2.5 more times. So there's a little cartoon that kind of explains it, where, you know, there's one plane crash that's seen in the newspaper, and this guy freaks out because he thinks planes are deadly now, when it's just one isolated case out of a whole bunch. So here's a more fun example. The tricky tequila taco trap. This actually happened to me the other night. Yes, there was tequila involved. I went and grabbed drinks and food with one of my friends, and she was telling me how she loves to snag some vegan Taco Bell on the way home from work. So that's when you get your tacos without the meat or the cheese or anything. I think it's just the beans, lettuce, tomato, like al fresco style. I'm still working on my Spanish. But anyways, after a few shots of tequila, we ended up spending $30 at Taco Bell. And just to give you an idea of what that looks like, these are pretty much all the tacos kind of stacked up. It's very difficult to get $30 at to spend $30 at Taco Bell. So going back to you, what kind of images are you putting in front of yourself on a daily or weekly basis to help you lose fat? If you're stumped, a few great tactics to hack the availability bias to work for you would be to front load your fridge with vegetables, fruits, and other healthy morsels. Similarly, research shows that placing vegetables first in your cart when you go shopping leads to healthier food choices. And this works the other way too. Instead of making healthy foods more available, you can make unhealthy foods less available, such as hiding Oreos in a box of bran flakes, or just putting them in the back of the cabinet, keeping them covered, kind of hidden, so you can't get to them as easily. And if it's out of mind, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Now, another sneaky way to do this is actually by dressing better. So this is called in-clothes cognition. And I kind of hate these pictures, but just to make the point, I put them up. It's the idea that wearing clothes that fit you better, that make you look more attractive, more put together, leads you to acting better and feeling better, and making more positive choices with your health and just in your life in general. It's a really interesting concept. Factor number 3. So this is food scarcity. Now, you may not have heard this before. I talk about this in more detail in the Lean Switch video series, but the Spark Notes version is that we've evolved in environments where food was not always around. We had to hunt, gather, or work for months to grow our own food. So we evolved to view food as a scarce resource. Now, with Weight Watchers, having point-free foods means that you do not have to worry about running out of points, foods, or calorie. It's not coming from a scarcity set. It's coming from a mindset where you can eat all that you want. So this is best explained with the clean plate rule. Did you have this growing up? I know I did in my house. I was supposed to eat until my plate was completely clean and empty. This trains your brain to associate throwing away food or saving it for later with pain, that it's no good to do that. To lose fat, you have to understand that food is everywhere. You could walk pretty much anywhere in any direction, and in 5 minutes be able to get some food. Whether it's fast food, whether it's at a gas station, whether it's a restaurant or a grocery store, you're really able to find food anywhere. So when you're eating, you could always take a break, eat, take another break. You don't have to eat until you're completely full. You're eating based on how you feel now. What if you could lose fat simply, effortlessly, using these psychological tactics and more? I recently put together the Skinny Kitchen video series to show you the overlooked secret to sliding back into your skinny jeans in just 14 days. And it's not at all about what you eat, but where you eat it. So you could click, I put a link down below where you could learn more about that. Now let's recap. Uh, we covered gamification, making fat loss fun. We covered tracking, so keeping a record of what you're measuring, because what you don't know, you cannot grow or lose. We covered the availability bias to trick your psychology into eating healthier food. We covered enclothed cognition, so that dressing better can help you subconsciously eat better as well. And we covered food scarcity, so you know that you don't always have to eat until you're full, and you can eat until you feel satisfied. And I'm so excited. I release a new breakdown every single Thursday. So let me know in the comments what breakdown you want to see next. And I'm Zach Zeller, America's practical fat loss coach, and you are stunning.